All right, I think we figured out our problem here. We're gonna fire this thing for the first time. We're gonna get this on camera. We're gonna bump the starter here and see what we get. You want to do the honors?
All right, I'm gonna let it prime one more time.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Dan Dulac and welcome back to my channel where I am building a V10 powered Ultima Evolution convertible. This build has been going on now for a couple of years. We are at episode number 37, and on this episode we're going to try to start this car for the very first time. A lot of anxiety, a lot of excitement, a lot of weight on my shoulders. There's been a lot of time, money, and energy spent into this build so far, and we are at what I call a major pucker moment with this build. So on this episode, we're gonna find out if this engine runs, if we could start it, if we can get the factory ECUs to work, if there are any leaks with my plumbing. We're gonna find all of that out on this episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, I'm getting ready to configure the PDM. Finally got my UTC, my Motec USB to CAN bus adapter, and USB cables right here. That's plugged into the laptop, and then I just put in the ground wire, and then CAN high and CAN low. Just pinned it into that adapter temporarily. I've got to get the official wire connector there, but that'll get me started anyway. Let's get started to configuring this PDM. All right, well, the first thing you want to do obviously is put power to the system. So the only thing I have on the CAN bus right now is the PDM unit and then this USB to CAN adapter. This is the key. I tried to use the ECU master version of this, but Motec, connecting to Motec devices requires you use a Motec UTC. So that's there. And obviously you want to put power to the system. So I'm going to simply turn on power to the Motec PDM. We've got a little light there indicating I do have power. And then with the USB cable plugged into your laptop, it will connect automatically. And then we simply launch the PDM software. And away we go.
Wish you were mine. Wish you were mine.
All right, guys, I've got some more circuits wired in here, and namely the C127 display. I got that thing installed, ready to go. I've got the main fans wired up. I've got the auxiliary fans in the back wired up, and I'll show you those now. We're gonna test them, and let's try it out. So I turn the ignition on first, so that puts power to the system. And what I will do is come over here to my Motec PDM manager, and I'll just test my connection here. It's good to go. I'm gonna load in my config file, and I'm actually gonna go to test my outputs. All right, so here's all my circuits listed here, And what I'm gonna do is look for the main engine fans. Here it is, main engine cooling fans. So I'm gonna enable these. I'll just toggle them and we'll see them fire up. So here we go. Drawing about 13 amps on that 20 amp circuit. That's both fans wired together, so not too bad. So that's the main cooling fans. Then I've got the transmission oil cooler fan. So that'll be on the far side of the car. We'll toggle that. That's over there, that's running, and that's running at about 2.6 amps. And then we will try the oil cooler fan right beside me here. Let's toggle that. Sweet. Again, same, about 2.6, 2.8 amp draw. All right, cool. Now we have got the display here. So I'm gonna take my steering wheel off so we can see this better. All right, and what I'm gonna do is turn on, I've got this circuit here called body electronics. So this has all the interior electronics, the keypads, the dash, and various interior electronics. So we're going to turn on this circuit for the first time and put power to that display. Here we go. And I just saw it flicker. Maybe I have to plug in. There's a RJ45 port here, so I can plug my computer into it and configure it. So let me get that set up and then we'll try this again.
Few moments later.
All right, I got it. Turns out I had a couple of two pins reversed, powering the CAN bus. So here we go. I'm going to enable just the body electronics circuit here. And let's watch the display. Enable. Yes.
Swing.
Eureka. All right, so we're in there. Now we can come over to my dash manager display here, software, and look for a connection. Boom. There we go. Connected device. Got to register it and away we go. So cool. That's plugged in and working. Just doing the update here. Installation complete. All right. Configuring the dash, restarting the system, and we're fully updated. Wow, they make that super simple. I just went up here just to update firmware, and boom, did it all in about 30 seconds. So software is up to date here on the laptop, firmware on the device is up to date, and we are ready to start configuring some dash elements here. I just mainly wanted to get this up and operational, powered up and on the CAN bus to make sure that worked. Next up, I'm going to configure my keypad here so I can start to program certain inputs on button actions here. So slowly but surely, we're getting there. I've got a test function running on the display here, which is really cool. Kind of shows you the colors and the brightness as it goes through the various testing functions here. I don't know if it's going to come out on the camera, but that is super nice and bright. Looks great. All right, cool. All right, guys, I have slowly but surely been making my way through the PDM, the display, and now the 8-button CAN keypad that I have. I just got a very, very basic setup just to get myself familiar with how this thing works. So let me show you what I've got here. And what I've set this up to do is the display the CAN 8-button keypad, the OBD2 port, and so forth, those will all power on as long as there's power to the PDM. And this main switch triggers the master breaker to activate the PDM. So as soon as I turn this key on, you're gonna see the keypad light up as well as the display light up. So let's give it a whirl here. All right, there's the keypad and there is the display. Now I programmed the keypad, this first button, just to turn on the first LED. There's 3 LEDs you can configure in the top of that. I turned it on just to hit the main fans in the front. So let's hit the button and see what happens. There we go. Main fans are running. And those babies put out some air. I'll put a piece of paper over this and show you. Works pretty well. Those fans are really pulling some air in here, cooling down the garage. Nice. And we'll hit the button again, and they're off. So I am super pumped. I think I'm finally getting to the point of figuring this thing out, making some good progress here. So I've got all of my output pins defined here. So these are all the circuits. Got all my input pins defined here. And now I've got my keypad set up with just one key currently set up. So slowly but surely getting this set up, then I can go ahead and create some logic. I'm going to save the dash configuration for later. That's going to require a fair bit of work. I've got a unique graphic design in my mind that I'm going to use for the display. I'm going to use the Ultima Evolution kind of silhouette logo and as an opening screen on that. So anyway, it should be pretty cool. We're gonna put oil in this thing for the first time and hope there are no leaks. Talk to the tuner, just talk to him on the phone, and I'm gonna put as much oil as I can in there so that when he's ready to crank, he'll obviously check the oil for me and get all that. This is what I'm using here, Liqui-Moly 5W40. I've actually got 15 liters of this. So I think the OEM unit takes maybe 10. But I've obviously got extra because I've got additional lines, all these extra coolers and so forth. So I have no idea how much oil this is actually going to take. So all I can do now is fill the sump and at the tuner, once he starts cranking, get some oil cycled through the system, and then we'll fill it up the rest of the way. So here we go. First oil in the system. All the AN fittings are snug down. I checked those, and now it's time to put oil in the sump for the first time. So far so good, no leaks. So we'll take it. Come on. This fucking thing. Lee. Alright, as you saw, I put fuel in it, I put oil in it. This thing is ready to go to the tuner. Kind of cleaned up all my wiring mess, tidied a little bit of wiring up, and got this thing ready to go, to get on the trailer. So let me do a quick walk around, show you where we're gonna leave it. Next step, get this car on the car trailer and over to the tuner. So let's check it out. All right, we got fuel in this, as I mentioned, and when I put this on the ground and kind of rolled it out into the garage, I did notice a sound. It's coming from the fuel tank, and it's either the floater valve on the fuel level indicator, or it's a doorway on the baffle. Inside the tank, there's a baffle that's there by the factory when the tanks are built. I've only got about 2.5 gallons total, and it equalized across both tanks. So maybe there's, I don't know, 2 inches of fuel in this tank. But take a listen here. When I just roll this car, just to slosh the fuel a little bit. So take a listen. Can't quite tell where it's coming from. I think it might be the float on the fuel level housing, but I'm not sure. So if there's any other builders out there with some experience, let me know. Might save me from digging into the fuel tank unnecessarily, but clearly something's loose in there. Baffle, door, or the fuel level measuring unit. I don't know. I don't hear it on this side, so when I shimmy the car and create some fuel slosh, I don't hear anything on this side. It's only over here. It's pretty loud too. It's kind of annoying. So anyway, all in all, no leaks. I checked for fuel leaks. I checked for oil leaks. No leaks at all. So I am pretty excited. That is a good first step. Not a single drop on the floor. I actually got underneath the car before I put it on the ground with a flashlight, checked everything. So first major milestone, no leaks. The next step obviously is putting pressure to the systems. That'll be the next big step, and that will likely happen at the tuner. So here we are. I've got everything cleaned up in the cockpit, all dusted, all the wiring and crap, loose wires out of there. Since this is going to be in an open trailer, I taped down the carbon lids on both sides, and I've got some spare oil in there, so when we cycle the engine, clearly once fluid starts flowing into the engine, I'm going to need more oil, and same with trans oil as well. So this thing is pretty much how it's going to be until we get it running. I did not put coolant in the engine or in the system yet. Tuner mentioned we're only going to start this for 30 to 60 seconds anyway, just to make sure the immobilizer is disabled. And once we confirm a starting function, then I'll bring the car back home and start finishing up the electronics, fill it with coolant, and then hopefully take this for our first test drive. So pretty exciting. Can't wait to get this on the trailer and head over the tuner. Alright guys, we are loaded up, ready to get this thing off to the tuner. Let's do it. I'm on my way over to the tuner. Turns out we're having what I'll call some layer 1 problems. We hook up the computer to the OBD2 port and we can't successfully get the VCDS software to talk to the ECUs. Maybe 1 in 10 tries it'll work and then it quickly fails. So I'm headed over there now to help Mark troubleshoot, obviously know where every single wire is in that car. Once we get the CAN bus working, meaning we can get the PC to communicate with the ECUs, then the coding work begins, and then I think we'll be in decent shape. So this layer 1 problem may be turned into what I'll call a layer 0 or layer 8 problem, which is human error. So we'll see, we'll find out. On my way there now, I'll keep you guys posted here and bring you along for the journey. All right, I think we figured out our problem here. We're gonna fire this thing for the first time. We're gonna get this on camera. We're gonna try it. We got VCDS working. It's talking to the computers now. Turns out it was my C127 display was doing something funky with the traffic. So we're gonna bump the starter here and see what we get. You want to do the honors?
All right, I'm gonna let it prime one more time.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
That's loud.
Holy
so loud.
shit! Dude, that is fucking awesome! Holy shit!
Loud.
Wouldn't have called that.
Wow!
Wow. That did exactly what I thought it might do.
It sounds like I thought it was going to sound like
Holy
that
shit!
sound, but that's way louder than I expected. You do it one more time?
Let's do it!
Stand there.
All right, let me prime it. Yep, hang on. All right, ready?
Yep.
I probably have to clear the code. So it's
Oh.
the immobilizer fault.
Good call.
Push the happiness pedal.
Yes, we did!
Are we pushed the
Comes
penis
down in
pedal?
his Crocs.
We got
Would
fucking.
you take a nap, guy?
We got live.
That's awesome. Were you taking a nap? That was the best sound to wake up to.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Yep.
About 1,000.
1,000 fault codes.
All right, clear. Yes.
Basically,
All right, ready?
you know.
All right, hold on. Let me get back there.
Body.
That thing is gonna
Neighbors
freaking
are gonna hate you.
ridiculous.
They're gonna want to beat
It
you.
probably might
Holy shit,
That's pretty fun.
dude. Holy shit.
You ever run around alligators when they're mating?
be. Is that what you just
God,
equated that to?
that is
They
awesome.
have
Sound, that
this
guttural-
Sonic, yeah, exactly.
Holy cow.
Oh,
I didn't expect that, honestly.
No, like first
I
start
expect-
videos are always a fallacy, right?
Holy
like, where
shit.
it's like, you know, there's a million things that could be wrong with the car, and it's like, oh, it's totally not going to start. It's like,
I'm glad all you guys were here to experience it. And like, it wasn't just me in my garage by myself.
right on.
That's kick-ass, dude.
I have a feeling if it was
Kick
you in the
ass.
garage by yourself, it would have been like a Doc Brown moment where he's testing.
Yeah, exactly. Great Scott. All right, guys, we got it first started. We actually tried it twice. Now Mark's job is to get all those codes out of there so we can fire it up for real. So stay tuned. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys, I just left Mark's shop, EFI Motorsports, and man, you cannot wipe the smile off my face. I just watched the video on my iPhone. The sound, the microphone can't handle the volume and the sound of that thing. Being there and in person, it's just visceral, that exhaust. Holy cow. So anyway, Mark now has to work on getting the immobilizer deactivated on those ECUs so we could start and run it for real. And then we'll iterate through and get all those codes kind of coded out of the system, all the various OBD2 circuits and stuff that I don't need anymore, smog pumps and rear O2 sensors and kind of all that stuff that I already deleted. So I can't believe it. It was, I simply unplugged the CAN 2, which is the 500 kilobit per second CAN that the drivetrain runs on. I unplugged that end of it from my C127 display and boom, connected right to the computers. I'm just so glad I didn't dig into the wiring and troubleshoot any further, because that could have been a lot of wasted time and energy. So I'll figure out what's going on with the C127. But man, what a day. It is. I'm just at a loss for words. I'm so darn excited. The engine sounded healthy. I checked for leaks. No fuel leaks. We pressurized the fuel system. No fuel, no oil leaks. The next one is once we get the engine ready to run for real, I'll get that thing filled with coolant and so forth. So man, I'm just beside myself happy. So I'm glad I was there to try the first start. I didn't know if I would be or not, given my schedule and Mark's schedule and so forth. But in any event, you saw it. You saw it first. You saw it live along with me. So I'm pretty darn excited. So we're going to keep it going. Next step is Mark's going to work on it this week. Hopefully by the end of this week, just a few days from now, I'll have a running car. And we'll go from there. So stay tuned, guys.